My name is Joseph Anesumarova. I'm a poultry farmer in Warren Park. I specialize in pure breeds, heritage breeds, those that grow very big. We also have some bantams, but in bantams we're just starting. So in these chickens, currently we have 33 breeds, different types of species, which ranges from Brahmas, Orpingtons, Wyandottes, Cochins, Australorps. So those are the main breeds that we have, and from those we have them on different colors and varieties. So I grew up in Jombe, in my rural place, my mother's rural place. So from there was this government program where people were given chickens. So they were white chickens. I think they were those male layers. So from that point, I started to wonder. Also, these chickens, they do have different kind of breeds. You can have one type of chickens. So it was something that I do like. And then I was around Form 3, Form 4, around there. Then I did my A level. I was doing also agriculture. Then I went to Gwebi College of Agriculture. Then from there, on my attachment, I attended the Zimbabwe Agricultural Show, and I saw this guy who had these kind of different types of species. Then from there, my interest also developed way better. After school, I started with a Bushveld, and then and some Australorps, and then I was breeding so much numbers. I think at some point I was hatching about 1,000 chicks per week on a weekly basis. But I then realized that I need to shift the business idea from just producing numbers to producing like quality. So of all the black Australorp that I had, they didn't meet the breeding standard of the black Australorp. So I did my researches of each and every breed that I had that time. Then they were not meeting what I wanted. Then I had to acquire of most of the breeds. So when I started with the exact pure breeds, I started with 3. I started with the Jersey Giant, I started with the Australorp, and the Buff Columbian Brahma. And then from those 3, that is 2022. I started in 2022 with the exact pure breeds. And then by now in 2024, when it begins, I had about 16 breeds. But now 2024 in August, I have about 33 different types of breeds of these chickens. So we are multiplying them. We need to target about 50 by end of this year, and then maybe in 5 years we have about 500 to 600 different species. We would want to have like a bank of all the different types of species that you can get, so that whenever we want to breed for meat, we can try the different combinations, so that we can now say, if you cross this one and this one, you produce meat. If you cross this one and this one, you produce better eggs. So we want it to be the bank of all different types of species that you can have. So when I started like with those 3 beds, since I need to maximize on quality, I had to my first design, it was a wooden cabin. So I had partitioned those wooden cabins in different sections, and if they were even smaller. So with the wooden cabins, you cannot also pile them. And another challenge with the wooden cabins, you have a challenge of pests, because especially the lice, they become a little bit of a challenge when you are using the wooden. So when I was increasing my breeds, because I didn't have any extra space to put them, then I thought of, why can't I utilize the height. So before I got another place recently, I was thinking to even go up higher, but unfortunately I got another space, but it's even smaller than what I'm looking forward for. So this kind of idea is mainly I'm mainly targeting to say, okay, with the little space that you have, like the total space that I have, about 20 square meters. That is the total space that I have, that I'm using for this project. So I'm using 20 square meters, so double, that is 40 square meters. So I thought that, no, you can do like a vertical farming going up there. With neighbors, I don't have a challenge with them. You know, we are a community of Ubuntu, so people do understand that when a neighbor, like we grew together, we know each other. It's a kind of different from a setup where you are in the low density, whereby you don't even know your next door neighbor. So with this kind of a setup, it's sort of the neighbors do appreciate, and we have more neighbors who also have bought from us, and we are supporting them. And sometimes we do have an incubator. We also hatch for free to some of the local neighbors. For someone who would want to start this kind of a project, as for me here, I have the total of the Warren Park site. I have about 70 hens. So 70 hens, I collect about 50 eggs per day. From the 50 eggs, let's assume that I'm hatching about 30 chicks from those 50. So on a weekly basis, I can assure that I can be getting that is 30 times 7, that is 270 chicks on a weekly basis. So from the 270, that means, let's say 270 times 5 was my chicks. They cost between $5 to $10 depending on the breed. So with that, in average of $5, that means 270 times 5, we are talking about 1,000 something on per week. So it's a lucrative business. So per month we are talking about 4,000. Then let's talk of the cost of production. So each bed it consumes about 125 grams per day. So that means for all my chickens I need 2 bags per week. So for the 2 bags per week, it gives me about $60. That's my cost of feed per week. So $60, even if my cost of hatching, I have my own incubator. Suppose I'm hatching, my cost of hatching per week, it doesn't surpass even $100. And then my cost of medication, in terms of medication, normally you should have antibiotics, you should have sulfur drugs, you should have disinfectant. So I disinfect on a weekly basis. That is $5 per week. I give them antibiotics, not always, but maybe $5 per month. And then the sulfur drugs I give them when they are sick. When I discover that I have some sick beds or some watery droppings, some green droppings, white droppings, that's when I give some sulfur drugs. So basically my cost of medication per month, it doesn't go above $20. So all in all, my total cost of production is $500 per month. And then we are talking about more than $4,000 that you can make even per month based on this. So now if someone wants to start, there are 2 ways to start. Number 1, you can start from mature beds. You can start from day-old chicks, depending on a lot of factors. The first factor is the availability of resources. So when you have enough capital, I would suggest that you have to start from mature beds, but they are capital intensive, because you need per bed between $80 to $150 per bed when you want to start with bigger beds. But it's also risky. You get your money quicker, faster, because they can be already on a laying. Because when you start with chicks now, it costs you about $5 to $10 to buy a day-old chick. And to keep it to maturity, you need between $5 to $7 for it to start laying. That is between 26 to 32 weeks. Your bird will start to lay eggs. And most of our breeds, the roosters, they get to 4.5 to 6 kgs when they mature, and the hens, they go between 3.6 to 4.2 kgs when they mature. So they're very big chickens. You can also see between 150 eggs. Some they give us eggs around 300 eggs per year, like the Black Horse Drops, and the Orpingtons around 250 eggs per year. So in terms of number of eggs, you also have to decide which one you'd want to choose, which gives you more number. For those who want to start this business, there are mainly 2 ways that you can start. the egg, to start with the eggs, I wouldn't advise someone to start with the eggs because they're too risky. The hatching percentage, something like that, management of, you don't know how the eggs were kept all along. And then when you are starting with chicks, suppose you don't have enough capital to start, starting with the chicks is the best option. So for chicks, you get them between $5 to $10 per day or chick. Then keeping them to point of laying, your cost of production is between $5 to $7. So basically, we are talking of between $10 to $15 to keep a bird to start laying. And then when you're buying them as mature birds, that means you are spending between $80 to $150, depending also on the breed that you're getting. You don't need much keeping them like the broilers. These are just road runners. You can keep them like road runners. You can even free range them outside with supplementary feeding. They also do very well. And in terms of medication, they don't require much medication, but you definitely need to vaccinate against some of the diseases, like we're talking of Newcastle, like we're talking of fowlpox, like we're talking of infectious coryza. Those are some of the vaccines that you don't have to skip when you're keeping your chickens. And then in terms of when you start this business, we are saying when you keep them from day old to mature, your cost of production is $5, and then when you're selling them, the minimum cost of these chickens, you can sell them between $30, but even going above like to $150. Now it depends on the quality again of your chickens that you're producing. Are you able to do better selection? Are you able to do better management if they've grown to the better size of the required standard? Well, these breeds, they have a breeding standard that you need to follow to understand their size, to understand their shape, to understand their height, their frame, and the stuff. And then in terms of management, like I said, you don't require much management. You are brooding for the first 4 weeks when you are in winter. Then 2 weeks when you are in summer is good brooding. Then they can even start to move around as road runners, because they are definitely road runners. My best sell on these breeds, I sold the Ayam Semani. It's one of the most expensive chickens in the world. I sold it for $450 per bed. That was the best sale that I did. And then besides that, in breeds like the Brahmas and the Orpingtons, I did sell some for $200 per bed. So that was one of my best. Because someone would come just like, I need this chicken, then you won't be selling. Then you say, no, I'll give you $100. Say, no, I'm not selling. Then someone can talk up. Definitely you'll be given an offer that you cannot resist. When we're talking of funding, funding it's not something that is easy. Like I said, when I started, it wasn't an easy journey and I couldn't get any funding. But the first thing that I put in my mind was I definitely have to start. So with those who are finding like having challenges with funding, I would say you have to start 1 or 2 or 3 breeds, 5 chicks, 4 chicks. You definitely have to start. The business, it grows on its own. You also have the ability to understand the downside of the business, the challenges, and you adapt easily. Like for example, yes, as much as we need funding, like at this stage that I am now, I'm able to grow. And if I'm to get funding, I would say I would know where to put the funds and how to utilize the funds. But if I had the opportunity to get the funds like when I was starting, trust me, maybe I could have misused the funds because I wouldn't know the idea of the business. I wouldn't know where the business is taking me. So I would suggest that if you need funding, it's actually better for you to start the business, get them into the market. If the market is willing to buy, then you can look for funding. Okay. I remember some time ago when I was using the wooden material in terms of my cages, I was attacked by some lice. You know, in terms of these chickens, there are some black lice that you get on the comb. Those ones are easy to notice because you can just see them. So unfortunately, I had some that do harbor on the vent of the chickens. So those ones I couldn't notice them. I actually had to notice low in terms of egg production. My chickens were becoming weak. Then when I had to check, I'd lost about two of my roosters. The unfortunate part, it was attacking more on the roosters. Because the roosters have more feathers than the hens, so they were attacking more roosters, and I had to source for more. That means all the eggs that I was getting, they were infertile eggs because I didn't get roosters. So I gotta have a challenge. So when you definitely have to look for your chickens, take them one by one, look for pests and diseases, weigh them, see if they're gaining weight, are they not losing weight, what's causing any challenges that you're getting. Yeah, family is the best. You can't run away from family. Like when you're starting, you don't have enough resources to employ someone. You don't have enough resources even to do whatever that you want to do. So the family support, it comes first, from even the labor cost that you have at your place. Even when some of them, like when I was building these cages, I could maybe only hire someone to weld them, but to fence them, then I would need some of the help from the family to say, now we need to tie A, B, C, D, F, G. So yes, family is one of those things that helps you to grow even in every business. The challenge now we have with our youth, we have youth are now taking more into drugs, and mainly they complain there's no jobs. So I'd advise the youth that you are to be your own employer, and you also need to employ other people. Like for example, when you're starting, you'll be your own employer. You employ yourself, start this, because you can know anyone can take off the chicks. It's something that is, you only need to use your senses. Is the chicks cold? Is it hot? You need to understand this kind of things, and then after that, then you start with 2, 3, 4 beds, and then you grow. You abstain from drugs, you abstain from just complaining there are no jobs out there, and then you start being an employer yourself. So it's something that anyone can do. We have grade 6s and grade 7s, even grade 2s who are staying here, like family I've said. They know how to pick the eggs, they know how to label them, they know if the bird is sick, they understand if how to load even the eggs into the incubator. If I'm not around and there's no zesa and there's need to run the generator, they know even how to do that. So anyone can do that. So if you are a youth and you are saying complain of jobs, I'm saying even a grade 2 person can keep chickens. So with this kind of the youths, I would also advise that to the parents, if they can like support their children to start this kind of business, to start even any project in their minds, please, the parents should be able to chip in, help them to start even small, and then even guide them to grow. As they grow, help them even in their business, give a hand. Also, it's some of the support that you can also give to the children, even provide space if you can.
Pindah. Ya kan, Mbo.